Hello, it's Coaster Juice. Six Flags Magic Mountain has a lot of coasters, more than any other park in the world. But which coasters there are the best? Keep watching to find out. You may have noticed, this video is called ranking half the coasters at Six Flags Magic Mountain. That's because on my visit to Six Flags Magic Mountain, a lot of coasters were closed. Batman the Ride was closed. Superman Escape from Krypton was closed. Twisted Colossus was closed. West Coast Racers was closed. Wonder Woman Flight of Courage was still under construction. And I didn't have time for any of the kiddie coasters. So, with that said, let's get on to the list. Kicking off the list with number 11 is Gold Rusher. Gold Rusher is the oldest coaster in the park, opening with the park in 1971. It's the Arrow Mine Train model, and it's a nice family coaster, but it doesn't do anything too amazing to be higher on the list. Number 10 is Ninja. Ninja's a nice arrow-suspended coaster, but it's not very intense, and I don't like how it ends with a lift hill. That being said, it does have a good setting on a hill, so I would recommend it. Number 9 is New Revolution. This was the first modern coaster with a vertical loop, and it's a nice long ride. However, it's not very intense, and it mostly just meanders around. Its loop is fun though, and it's a nice relaxing coaster. This next one's kind of controversial, but number 8 is Apocalypse. This coaster has good theming, and it is a fun ride, but I don't understand why people like it so much. I didn't think it was very intense. Number 7 is Scream. A lot of people don't like Scream, but I thought Scream was fun. I didn't think it was rough, and I liked its big inversions. However, it would have been nice if Six Flags put some effort into theming it instead of just plopping it on a parking lot and calling it a day. Number 6 is Goliath. This coaster is really big, and I like its sense of speed, but other than the super forceful helix towards the end of the ride, it's not very intense. I did think it's a fun ride though, so that's why I have it this high. Before I get to the top 5, if you're enjoying this video so far, please remember to give it a like and subscribe for more content like this. Number 5 is Viper. Viper is the last remaining Arrow Mega Looper in the world, and I don't think it's going to be around for much longer, but that's a shame because it really is a fun ride. Sure, it's kind of rough, but it has a good drop, and the top of its first loop is pretty intense. Number 4 is Full Throttle. This coaster has a giant vertical loop that gives lots of hang time, and later in the ride, you go over the loop again. It also has a fun swing launch, so you have speed to make it over the loop. One criticism I have with this coaster is the brakes start halfway down the drop off of the top of the loop, and that way you don't get as much airtime. It is still a good ride, and worthy of the number 4 spot. Number 3 is Riddler's Revenge. I know a lot of people don't like stand-up coasters, but I thought it was really fun. This coaster's massive, intense inversions are really fun, but taking them standing up just adds to the experience. I prefer stand-up coasters over sit-down coasters. And I think they should convert Scream into a second stand-up coaster for the park. Number 2 is Tatsu. Tatsu is a pretty graceful ride at the start. You go through big turns and rolls, and it truly feels like flying until you get to the pretzel loop. The pretzel loop on Tatsu is the most intense element I've experienced on any coaster ever, and it really feels like it's trying to kill you. The pretzel loop is huge. It's the biggest pretzel loop in the world, and at the bottom, it's pinning you to the back of your seat so hard. I do enjoy the pretzel loop, though, and the rest of Tatsu, and that's why it's my number 2 coaster in the park. Finally, we're at number 1, and of course it's X2. X2 is the most intense coaster I've ridden because it's a 4D coaster. A 4D coaster is where the seats flip on the side of the track during the ride. I said Tatsu's pretzel loop feels like it's trying to kill you. Well, that element is more intense than any certain point on X2. All of X2 feels like it's trying to kill you. Additionally, X2 has a great face drop that points you downwards, and that, combined with its intensity, is why I have X2 as my favorite coaster in the park and my favorite coaster overall that I've ridden. That's it for my video ranking the coasters at Six Flags Magic Mountain. Please like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments what your favorite coaster at Six Flags Magic Mountain is. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.